garage, back at it in Amanda's Jeep. We got to get the shifter installed. I took the shift knob off. The only way to get the shift knob itself off is by prying. I mean, you could try to put a wrench or some kind of strap wrench on the ball itself, you know, the knob, and turning it off. But usually, if it's been in there since original and never been removed like this one, there's a 15mm nut under the cap on the ball, and the cap is supposed to pry out. If it's old and this Jeep has been out in the sun with no top on, you know, most of its life, it's going to be brittle. When you try to pry that cap off, the shift knob is going to just tear to pieces. You're going to wind up getting a new shift knob. Anyway, we got everything stripped off the shifter, and you can see here, there's our end down there. We took all the boots off, and we got the bottom part there, and there is a plate. It's sort of like a gasket plate. I don't know. I'm just putting it back in exactly the way it came out. We don't have new gaskets for this. I think the paper gaskets that are on it are in good shape. You can see there. So we are just gonna line this guy right up and put it on like that with the old gasket. I don't foresee really an issue with that. I just don't remember how these nuts were. There were two that were just bolts, and there were two threaded studs. I don't think it matters which one you use because there's nothing that attaches to them. So I'm just gonna put them in. See what I mean by one's a stud and one's just a bolt? It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. We'll find out. All right, so we got the four, tighten them down. I just did it with a regular ratchet, just snugged them up pretty snug, nothing crazy. And I think we got it done up here enough where we could probably start this thing up and make sure everything works before we start putting everything together. All right, so we don't have the belly pan installed. The whole transfer case and transmission is being held up by a jack stand, but the shifter's in. The interior is not together yet. There's fluid in a little bit of fluid, like 2 quarts of fluid in the transmission. Nothing in the transfer case yet. But I can't see why we couldn't see if it starts and goes into gear before we go any further. This could be disastrous. It might not. I can't see any reason. The thing's jacked up in the rear. So let's see if we got battery. Fuel pump came on. Let me turn it off and see if I could prime the pump a couple times. All right, it primed again. Primed again. Put my foot on the clutch. It's running. I'm in neutral. Foot off the clutch. Foot on the clutch. Feels like it's working. Let's put it in gear. In first gear. See the wheel back there? Take my foot off the clutch just a little bit. All right. It's a little noise. You hear that? As I take my foot off the clutch. That could just be the clutch meshing into the stuff wearing in. Hopefully. I don't know. It's a noise. right where the clutch grabs. I think we're okay. All right, so we went underneath and fought with the belly pan. And the reason why we were fighting with the belly pan is because we had the transmission jacked up, and then we put the transfer case on, and we put the drive shaft in, and then we, ran it, and I go to put the belly pan up, and the transmission's not really in line going straight back. So we had a fight with the belly pan to get it into the transmission mount, and it was sort of like twisted on the frame, just a little cockeyed. It wasn't square with the frame rails. Once we just loosened everything up a little bit and kind of loosely bolted it all together, we were able to get the belly pan up. Robbie, if you want to grab the light and go underneath. So if you remember, we refinished the belly pan, but we didn't do this side because we knew we'd be dragging it under the Jeep to get it up and into place. But everything up there is in place. All the wires are connected. Everything's routed out of the way of anything that's going to damage it. Zip tied everything. Rear drive shaft is in. Belly pan is in. We did fight with the bolts a little bit, and I chased them out. I chased the bolt holes. I lubed the bolt holes, and we still fought with them a little bit. It was just, it really wasn't squaring up well on the transmission mount, where you got to put the nuts through the studs of the transmission mount to come in. But overall, everything is in. I don't see any reason why we can't take this thing off the jack stands now and actually drive it. I think that little vibration I felt will be gone now that the transmission and the drive shaft is straight. But we're going to try that right now. How about that, Robbie? All right, up and inside. Let's see how we do. Sounds just like the normal Jeep. Look at those back wheels. Yep, and that vibration that I initially felt is no longer there. First gear, second gear. All right, let's try reverse. Oh yeah, we're going backwards. All right, we're on the home stretch. I am going to take this off of the jack stands. We could actually drive it the way it is. I mean, down here is a mess, but I need to order new boots, clean this thing up, but it's drivable. Yes, there is no fluid in the transfer case. I'm not going to run it I'm not going to drive it without putting fluid in. So tomorrow, when I have some light, we will top off the fluids and clean out the interior and get some parts on order so that we could button up this whole interior. Hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a quick one. It was kind of all over the place because Robbie and I were wrestling with the belly pan, and then the light kind of escaped us because now it's got to get dark at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But that's it. Thanks for watching.